She had the perfect boyfriend. So why couldn't she stop thinking about someone else? June Carter had the kind of life people envied. A steady boyfriend, a clear future, a relationship that looked perfect on paper. Will was dependable, ambitious, and charming in the way that made parents relax. He remembered anniversaries, opened doors, talked about mortgages and 5-year plans like they were promises written in stone. Everything felt safe. And that was the problem. Because safe wasn't the same as alive. Most nights when Will kissed her goodnight, June felt like she was playing a role. Smiling at the right moments. Saying the right things. Nodding when he spoke about their future. It wasn't that she disliked him. It was worse than that. She felt nothing. Then James appeared. He didn't arrive like a storm. He didn't flirt openly or try to impress her. He just noticed her. The first real conversation they had was outside a crowded gathering. June had stepped out for air, overwhelmed by noise and polite conversations. James followed a few minutes later, hands in his coat pockets. "You look like someone who wants to run," he said quietly. She raised an eyebrow. "I don't run." Everyone runs from something. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't dramatic. But when their eyes met, something shifted, subtle, dangerous, undeniable. After that night, they kept crossing paths. Group dinners, coffee shops, mutual friends events. Every interaction was harmless on the surface. Casual conversation. Shared jokes. Long pauses that stretched a little too far. He never crossed a line. He just stood close enough that she felt it. "You deserve more than fine." He told her one afternoon when she admitted she was fine for the 3rd time. "You don't know anything about my relationship," she replied. "I know you don't look happy." That sentence stayed with her long after she left. Will started noticing changes. The way she checked her phone and then quickly locked it. The way she seemed distracted mid-conversation. The way she sometimes smiled at nothing. "Why does he look at you like that?" Will asked one night, tension threading through his voice. "Like what?" "Like he's waiting." She laughed it off. But later that evening, when Will's fingers wrapped around her wrist just a little too tightly and he said, "You're mine," she felt a chill instead of comfort. It was subtle. The control. The possessiveness. The way he framed jealousy as protection. The emotional line blurred slowly. June never cheated physically. But emotionally? She was drifting. She found herself replaying James' voice in her head. Imagining conversations. Wondering what it would feel like if he ever touched her. One rainy evening, fate cornered them in a nearly empty parking garage. Thunder rolled overhead. The air felt heavy. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, though she hadn't moved away. "Then why don't you leave?" He replied softly. Her heart pounded so loudly she thought he could hear it. "I don't want you to stop," she admitted, voice trembling. James stepped closer, close enough to feel the warmth between them. But he didn't touch her. "Tell me to walk away," he said. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. That silence said everything. When Will found out they'd been alone together, the explosion was inevitable. "You disgust me," he snapped during their argument. "If you want him, just say it." "I'm not doing anything." "Not yet." That word hit harder than anything else. Not yet. Over the next few weeks, cracks in Will's perfect image widened. He questioned her choices, dismissed her opinions, checked her phone under the excuse of trust. Each moment small enough to excuse. Together, impossible to ignore. At a party filled with mutual friends, everything came to a head. Will confronted James publicly. "You think you're better than me?" Will demanded. James didn't rise to the bait. "I think she deserves to choose." Choose. The room fell silent. Will turned to June. "Tell him you don't have feelings." Every eye was on her. James didn't beg, didn't plead, didn't step in. He simply looked at her, steady, patient, waiting. And suddenly June understood something painful and freeing at the same time. She wasn't trapped between two men. She was trapped between fear and honesty. "I can't do this," she said finally. Will smirked slightly. "Good. I mean with you." The silence that followed felt like the end of something bigger than a relationship. "You're making a mistake," Will warned. Maybe, she said, voice shaking but steady. But it'll be my mistake. She walked away. Not into James' arms. Just away. The weeks that followed were quiet. No dramatic rebound. No instant romance. She needed to know she wasn't choosing James just because he was different. She needed to choose herself first. James respected that. He gave her space. No pressure. No manipulation. Just presence when she needed it. One evening, she returned to the same spot where they'd first spoken. Cool air. Quiet sky. Familiar tension. You look like someone who stopped running, he said gently as he approached. She smiled. This time it reached her eyes. I was afraid of choosing wrong, she admitted. I thought love was supposed to feel safe. And now I think it's supposed to feel honest. He stepped closer. Do you still want me to walk away? She shook her head. Slowly. This time when he kissed her, it wasn't rushed or reckless. It wasn't about rebellion. It wasn't about proving anything. It was intentional. And that's what made it real. Some people would say she handled it badly. Some would call it emotional cheating. Some would blame James for waiting in the shadows. Maybe all of them would have a point. But love isn't always clean. People aren't always perfect. And sometimes the most dangerous direction isn't toward someone else. It's toward the truth. For the first time in a long time, June wasn't choosing comfort. She was choosing herself. And that made all the difference. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe for more emotional stories like this one. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. What did you think of Sunny and Wen's ending? Tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.